I left my soul on state road, Joe, we are not the same.
Michael Harris, also known on the street as Harry O, who was once known as the Godfather in South Central Los Angeles in the 1980s, working with gangs like the Bloods and Crips, plus the Colombian cartel. Harris was in charge of a nationwide drug trafficking operation that brought in nearly $2 million daily. Harris said he tried to do the right thing by his community by using the money to invest in local businesses. Despite his good intentions, his past caught up to him, and he was arrested for not only drug trafficking, but also attempted murder, a crime he says he did not commit. Later, the victim recanted, and the attempted murder charges were dropped, but Harris continued to spend time behind bars for the drug charge for a total of 33 years. "I have to take responsibility for my part," Harris said. "The day you don't take responsibility for what you do is the day your life starts to change immediately." In an interview for LA Stories, Harris opens up to Fernandez about his time in prison. He not only created mentorship programs for fellow inmates, but he also helped build one of the most prolific music labels in the world. Harris teamed up with Suge Knight to co-found Death Row Records, the label that helped launch careers of legendary hip-hop artists such as Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and Tupac Shakur, the GOAT. Harris tells Fernandez about the highs and lows of working with Death Row Records, which he helped manage from behind bars. "One of the things that rap provides for communities of color provides an avenue to share our stories," Harris said. "I noticed one thing that a lot of people had in common. Music soothes even the people you think cannot be soothed." In 2021, in a surprise pardon by then-President Donald Trump, Harris was granted his freedom after spending 33 years behind bars. While many thought Death Row Records had shut down permanently, Harris went right back to work once freed, partnering with Snoop Dogg as the COO of the all-new Death Row Records. Together they plan to rebuild Death Row, branding it as an NFT label and operating in the metaverse. Harris hopes to celebrate young voices from communities of color and give them a platform to share their stories. Additionally, Harris is building a network called Philanthropy TV in order to shine a light on the extraordinary stories of people giving back. For Harris, this is a chance to right the wrongs he committed in the past and a chance at redemption. "I'm always looking for that light in other people, no matter what the race are. And I think that's what's important. I want to be the person that they say it's a better place since he was here," Harris said.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Madison Square Garden. I got to thank God for allowing me to speak in front of you today. I got to tell you something else. God is great. Can I get a second? I got to tell you another secret, though. If it wasn't for Donald Trump, I wouldn't be standing here today. So I want to thank President Donald Trump for allowing me to stand in front of you here today. It's a bigger story. I'll let you know about it. God spoke to his heart, and Donald Trump signed with his heart my release after 33 years. God spoke to his heart. So I don't have but a few minutes, so I want to say what I got to say. First thing I want to do is speak to this elephant in the room. Our nation has had a complex history with racism and sexism. And we can all agree that we got to do a little work there. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. What we're here to talk about is our similarities that unite us. We want to talk about family security. It's important. We want to talk about economic development. It's essential. We want to talk about education for our children. It matters. It matters. For example, Kamala Harris talks about an opportunity agenda for black men, but there is no opportunity unless you have the foundation that starts with a strong education. And we cannot allow our children's zip code to dictate the opportunities for our children's future. School choice is like the First Amendment of opportunity agenda. The rest of the Constitution can't work if you don't have the right enshrined in the First Amendment. That is why we created Community First, to promote economic self-sufficiency, to increase access to capital, to expand educational opportunities. And in order to do this, we need a commander-in-chief that has the ability to bridge the gap with government, business, private sector, and our communities. Maybe I didn't mention, I'm the founder of Community First. President Donald Trump has committed to working with Community First when he's back in office. And in case you didn't know, Community First is you, and people that look like me. So Community First endorses Donald J. Trump to be the 47th president of these United States of America. Opportunity and dignity for all. That's what we get with Donald Trump. The President of the United States. we know that's what he's going to be. So I don't act like, I'm not the only one that know that, right? I think the world needs to hear us say, we want a real commander-in-chief in office to represent all of our communities.